just off Highway 89A.
Yeah, keep going.
At a farm a few miles outside of Prescott Valley.
There's a gate, turn right. 50-milers, check in!
It's here where there's a race.
Hello.
Unlike any other.
Thanks so much.
Those that enter need to be in the best of shape.
We're checking their hydration status, their gut sounds, their overall body condition.
25 miles? 25 miles.
But it's a race where the number of legs doesn't exactly refer to the course.
The human runners, we don't care about them.
That's because this race is man versus horse.
Just the idea of a runner and a horse on the trail.
An idea that might sound a little crazy.
It's pretty crazy.
Which is why it's only fitting this whole thing started over some beers.
This race actually got started by this man right here, Gerald Brownlow, who was a county supervisor for Prescott for over 20 years. And he had a bar bet with Steve Rafters right here, which is an old cowboy, down on Whiskey Row.
A bet back in 1983 that a runner could beat a horse.
And it's been going ever since.
It's a 50-mile course with an elevation gain of around 2,600 feet. It's a test of strength between man and horse where every year man lost. That is, up until last year.
First runner through at 8:29.
He's the only guy that's done it in 36 years.
The first runner came through at number 508.
He was incredible. I remember him passing me, limbs flailing, and it was just like, oh, I just got beat by a human.
All right, hope to see you later. I'm Nick Curry, and I'm here at the Mannington's Horse 50 Mile, and people might know me because last year I was the first person in the race's history to ever outright beat all the horses.
Nick has been running the race for about a decade now.
It is such an old school race.
A battle between beast and biped, reflecting its rustic rural roots.
In like this race, it's like there's a spray painted sign that says man horse, and the official race clock is this old wall clock.
But when that clock strikes 6:30,
Mannington's Horse Race 2020, let's go, let's start. Right now.
it's off to the races.
I'd say almost the first half of the race is just real, like, methodical, controlled, like, analytical.
As runners and horses jockey for position on the trail,
You do want to beat the person. At the end of the day, you know, there's a reason the West was won by horse.
horses stop at designated medical checks,
Checkpoint 5. Copy.
Roger that.
which gets taken off their overall time. Meanwhile, the humans pass right on through.
You want to get competitive, and you do get competitive, but it's like a fun, cooperative competitiveness.
Runners and riders braving the steep
They
terrain,
describe it as a knee-to-chin climb.
a battle back and forth,
I'm really trying to breathe right now.
going right over the top of Mingus
You
Mountain.
get up there, and you're like, this is exactly why this is worth it.
Hours on the trail that seem to simply slip by.
You're almost in a meditation. You're almost just letting yourself experience what's out there, and you're not too caught up in any one thing.
And with a time of 6 hours, 17 minutes, and 9 seconds, no horse caught up with him either.
It brings you back to like this primordial state.
A time 3 minutes slower than last year,
I can go way further than I'd expect and way longer than I'd expect.
meaning maybe the most remarkable thing about this race between horse and man is that the only competition for this athlete is against himself.
Such a cool feeling.
Yeah, this desert area goes for miles and miles, and all we're told is that the jet went down somewhere in an unpopulated area.
Yetta and Jared, Phoenix Police Chief Jerry Williams and Mayor Kate Gallego gave us a live update in just the last hour, thanking their officers for putting their lives on the line.
Well, Yetta, the Super Bowl torch has officially been passed on to Arizona to hold the big game right here at State Farm Stadium.
Well, this shot right here really says it all. Behind me, we see a car that's getting towed out because it got stuck in the snow. And then if you come with me down the street, you can see this semi-truck that's jackknifed on this hill, even though it has chains on. It really demonstrates how slick conditions are out here. Today, we spoke to the folks with the Public Works Department here in Flagstaff. We're trying to make sure that conditions stay as safe as possible.
Long days, difficult conditions, and stressful work.
Plowing the roads in the middle of a storm can sometimes feel like a futile fight.
Storm, you'll go somewhere, turn around and come back, and you can't even tell that you have been there.
A task that takes team
The
effort.
snow's coming down that hard. Thank you very much.
Overall good spirits.
The snowplow drivers here at Flagstaff Public Works are going around the clock, plowing in 12-hour shifts.
You see some tired eyes, but they're committed and they're staying at it, and we're going to keep, even when the snow stops falling, we're going to continue through with our cleanup effort.
The trucks also get loaded up with cinders, a type of volcanic rock which is sprinkled along the roads for traction.
This is the type of event that kind of binds all of us in Flagstaff together.
And until the roads are clear,
good times, but a little insane.
They'll keep climbing into the driver's seat.
We know what we're doing. We know how we're helping our community. I think that's what really keeps us all going.
It's amazing the difference a few days make.
The cold brings with it a certain seriousness.
The first flakes of the season falling in Arizona's high country.
I kind of like the stark beauty of the snow. You get the whites and the grays contrasting with greens.
A change in the weather that didn't keep Ken McBird Bell from one of his favorite routines.
You know, it's fun for me, and they get some good food out of it.
Appetites seem to grow when the temperatures dip down.
Well, they do seem hungrier. I think they're survivalists, and they'll go wherever they can to get the food.
A snowy sachet, also the solution.
We both love walking.
For appetites that have gotten too large.
He's on a diet.
No matter the reason.
I just feel very lucky to have this place to come to.
There's no denying the beauty of these woods.
Snow is beautiful, the trees are beautiful. It's just great to see winter after a horrible hot summer.
Walk beneath the trees.
It's pretty darn cold.
And you might feel something other than tingling toes.
Just a piece to our surroundings so you don't get when you're busy doing day-to-day stuff.
The satisfying sort of solitude.
And that's what I like about the wild, to get out there and experience just total stillness.
In a place where you can hear the quiet.
And sometimes there's absolute silence, which you hardly ever get.
Find your passion.
I remember one time he was telling me, I don't need to do drugs. Running is my drug.
We've all heard that.
He just loves running. Whenever he's running, he's happy.
Sounds simple.
He doesn't stop talking about it. He doesn't stop thinking about it.
But where do we find it?
If I run a mile, it feels like forever. He's gonna run 100.
If you're 19-year-old Zachary Bates...
And he's gonna do it. There's just no stopping him.
You go outside the box.
It's just a cool thing to think about, doing something that just seems crazy or something that would surprise someone.
Diagnosed with autism at 4 years old, seemingly impossible accomplishments have always attracted Zach.
I think about Kipchoge's world record for the marathon, like 2 hours, 1 minute and 39 seconds.
A longtime owner of multiple Guinness World Records books,
Alexander Sorokin has the world record for 24 hours.
He has a hyper-focus for achievement.
Dean Karnazes ran 350 miles.
Especially in running.
I just like knowing what people have been able to push themselves to do.
So it wasn't all that surprising last spring, on graduation day for Show Low High School, that Zach decided it was time to test himself.
He announced to us, before my 20th birthday, I'm gonna run a 100-mile race. And we were like,
She was thinking like, that was too much. Yeah. And I was like, nah, I want him to do 100 miles.
Zach's usually a pretty easygoing guy, but when I was like, I'm not sure we can do that, he started getting a little bit mad. He was determined that he was gonna do that.
Zach's longest race to this point, a 5K.
I've seen what other people can do.
He just thinks, well, they're another human being. They trained, they worked hard. Why can't I be like that? He doesn't put those limits on himself.
Neither do his parents.
A lot of moms very understandably and justifiably would have said, no, you're not. You're gonna hurt yourself. You're not gonna do 100 miles and put a stop to it.
He has his hopes, he has his dreams. You know, who are we to say that he can't reach that goal? Who are we to say he can't have that dream? We call this the Bible.
Ultra-marathon training books were bought. Local coaches enlisted. A TikTok account, Running Farther, created.
Go out and do it.
To document the journey.
I just finished
22 miles.
In early August, Zach ran his first half marathon.
Good job, Zach.
Finishing in 8th place. 1 week later, a full marathon in Utah. Then in September, his first ultra, 50 miles.
Finish strong, Zach. You're doing awesome.
Zach finishes runner-up.
Finisher coming in.
The following month, a 6th place finish at the Sky Peaks 26K in Flagstaff. He followed that with a 50K in November.
Go, Zach!
And in December, at a 25K night run, another 2nd place finish.
He just blew us away. This isn't just a kid that has a big dream. This is like a really talented kid.
We don't underestimate him anymore.
If you were running a 100-miler, the time has come.
January 15th, Estrella Mountain Regional Park in Goodyear.
Will be 100-mile.
100 ultramarathoners line up for the Coldwater Rumble 100-miler.
Who's out there on the first time? Look at that.
Most of them in their 30s and 40s. Only one is a teenager.
Running an ultra is 90% mental, and the other 10%, well, that's mental too. 19-year-olds don't necessarily have that maturity level.
Starting just before sunrise on Saturday, Zach must complete a 20-mile loop 5 times, with quick pit stops to see his family after each lap, where he takes maybe 5 to 10 minutes to rest and refuel.
Good job, Zach. See you in another 20.
I just think about getting to the next checkpoint and don't worry about the whole distance. And once I get there, I'm like, okay, I can do a little bit more.
Everything's going smoothly until darkness falls.
It's gonna be tough to get him out on that next one.
75 miles in, Zach's seemingly nearing a breaking point.
I know he was in a lot of pain and he was moving slow, but I don't think it even crossed his mind that he could quit. It wasn't even an option. I know it hurts, buddy. I know it hurts. He was a freight train. He just kept going and going and going and putting one foot in front of the other.
As a mom, you don't want your kid out there hurting in the middle of the night in the dark.
You're doing so good.
By the time he finishes his 4th lap, it's 3 a.m. 20 hours after he started, there are still 20 miles to go.
He has to hurt to make his goal. So I just have to live with him hurting because his goal is so important to him.
All right, dude. 3, 2, 1. Pow!
Okay, got it. You're full of energy now.
The energy infusion heading out on the 5th and final lap can only do so much. As the sun rises Sunday,
How you feeling?
Zach is dealing with a hip flexor strain,
Leg quartz. Yeah.
basically dragging his right leg forward.
Yeah, you're doing so well, though, man.
Still, there is no quit.
It's called a comeback. It's called rallying.
Zach's been on the move almost non-stop for more than a full day now. He's climbed nearly 8,000 feet, hasn't slept a second, and here he is moving as fast as he has since the first half of the race.
I never had any doubt that he would finish. I know him. Go, Zach!
In an event where 1/3 of the field does not finish,
You got this, bud.
Zach Bates
You got this.
crosses the finish line.
You are a 100-mile finisher, Zach Bates. Congratulations.
The youngest finisher in the history of this race, 6 weeks shy of his 20th birthday.
How are you feeling?
I'm tired, but I'm happy. Finish the race.
You feel proud of Zach. You did it. You did it. You did it. You did it.
Autism doesn't slow Zach down,
He can accomplish anything he wants to.
doesn't decide what he's capable of,
We can do hard things.
doesn't put him in a box.
You can do this. And Zach is a perfect example of that.
Find your passion? If you're Zachary Bates, you already have.
As a mom with a child with a special need, you just don't know what they're going to be able to achieve in their life. And me watching my kid live the dream is just kind of everything, you know?